So 10 years passed, and the third chair grew heavy, still standing together. Eliza and Danica had built a life of luxury and influence. But the boy they raised in the glow of their dreams had changed. Andy was 13 now, and the Momo and Mama, who once whispered over his sleeping form, were now strangers to his silence. The architect they imagined was nowhere to be found. In his place was a teenager with a jaw like flint and eyes that looked through them rather than at them. The house was no longer a fortress of peace. It was a holding cell, waiting for the next spark to fly. So for Eliza and Danica, the principal's office had become a normal field trip, and they sat in the same small chairs they once occupied at corporate boards and dance galas, listening to reports of Andy's latest defiance. Writing lines, detention, and quiet warnings had become the background noise of their lives. They tried everything: Danica's logic, Eliza's empathy. But Andy seemed to speak a language they couldn't translate. They kept waiting for the phase to end, for the brilliant doctor or the soulful singer to emerge. They didn't realize the storm wasn't passing. It was gathering strength. Last night the storm finally broke. It wasn't a prank or a schoolyard scuffle. It was a coordinated, cold-blooded act of vandalism that pushed them to the edge of their sanity. While they were discussing his future over wine, Andy was out in the city, fueled by a rage they hadn't bothered to measure. He didn't just break a window or spray paint a wall. He struck at the very heart of the city's order. When the call came from the precinct at 3 in the morning, the third chair felt like it was finally about to collapse. The precinct was a world of fluorescent lights and the smell of stale coffee, a far cry from the liquid gold of Eliza's studio or the marble of Danica's office. The two successful women sat in stunned silence, their expensive clothes looking out of place against the grey walls. Andy sat between them, his face a mask of unrepentant coldness. He didn't look like a boy who had made a mistake. He looked like a soldier who had just finished a mission. A weary police officer sat across from them, sliding a heavy folder across the metal desk. The sound of the paper hitting the surface echoed like a gunshot. The officer leaned forward, his eyes tired. He systematically smashed 3 sets of city traffic lights with a metal bat, he said, his voice flat. Eliza gasped, her hand flying to her mouth, but it was the officer's next words that broke them. He says he did it as a protest. He's tired of the world looking at his mums like a red light they're waiting to change. Danica's logic failed her as the officer closed file. The school has expelled him and the city is pressing charges. Ladies, the boy you dreamed would be a doctor just became a liability. The dream was dead. The reality was just beginning.